boat, man, it's time to go. Grab your baits and fishing poles, fill the tank and then hit the road till you're in that fishing hole. Made up my mind, I'm no.
Bass Nation, this is Chris Tate. Hey, we had to do the slide a little bit over again, but it's going to be a much better presentation. I just want to remind you of two things. Get your Aaron Martin shirt. Today's the last day to order it. And everybody's been viewing the Zoom Nation. It's been great to reach out to some of the anglers. But let me know if you got an angler out there you want me to reach out to, you want me to highlight, and I'd be more than glad to do it. So I'm going to turn the presentation, the tournament safety briefing and tournament rules presentation over to Scott Ashley. Thank you, Scott.
All right. Thank you, Chris. I'm going to roll through this since we kind of on a time limit. Like Chris said, we had to redo from the live that we did the other day. Looking forward to getting back to the tournaments with everyone. We're going to go over everything in this video from the registration all the way through weigh-in, a lot of important information, so please pay attention. A lot of things we got to do different because of all the guidelines with the COVID. Please adhere to these new guidelines and policies. We have to, for our insurance and other reasons. The city of Scottsboro is really very nervous about it. So we put a lot of things in place so that we can have this tournament. So please follow these rules. Probably planning on doing an update video from the tournament site. Oops, sorry. Friday night, June the 5th, somewhere between 5:30 and 6. So keep a watch out for that to make any of the final tweaks that we had to do once we set up. So first, I want to go over some key messages for this tournament. One is this will be a 3-fish limit tournament. Face coverings, you hear a lot about that. So face covering must be worn at registration, launch, blast off, and weigh-in. That can just be a buff. Most all of you have a buff or whatever kind of face covering that you want. Again, when we at launch, blast off, and weigh in and registration. When you're out fishing, I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Y'all probably rode in the car together. That's your discretion. The boat captains, they're responsible for the safety. We will not be allowing any spectators at blast off or weigh in. Everything will be broadcast on Facebook Live. Sorry, but we have to do that. It's the only way we can control things. There will not be any in-person award ceremonies either. They'll be aired on Facebook Live, and the awards will either be mailed or shipped to you, or Daryl has agreed to hang around after the tournament is over up at the Civic Center, which is on the road leading into the Goose Pond ramp, for you to be able to pick up if you're still in the area. Otherwise, they will mail or ship them to you. If we start to generate a crowd at any time, we're going to have to stop the tournament, okay? And we don't want to have to do that. If we can't get the crowds dispersed, we'll have to just cancel the tournament and shut it down. Not what we want to do, so please work with us. Maintain the 6-foot distancing, follow the instructions, go through, get weighed in, and get out of the area so that we can continue to bring everyone else through. Not really great messages, not what we want to deliver, but we did want to get back to fishing and get you guys back on the water and let you finish out the year and give you an opportunity. We made a lot of changes, right, so that we could give the anglers these opportunities. So I'm going to go over some of those changes. Of course, this tournament we're talking about is June the 6th at Guntersville out of Goose Pond Colony. It is a tied division tournament. It is a regional tournament for high school and juniors, both. So juniors and high school will participate in this tournament. June the 19th is Lay Lake Junior Only State Championship. That is a Friday, June the 19th, only junior state championship. One change for the juniors to qualify for their state championship. It was that required that they had fished 2 regionals. Now we're cutting that back to only must have fished 1, I believe. The very next day, June the 20th at Lay Lake is a Tiger regional tournament. It will be high school only because the juniors had their state championship the day before. So high school only. July the 11th will be a tied division regional tournament at Weiss Lake. Again, high school only. And then July the 24th and 25th, back at Guntersville at Goose Pond, will be the high school state championship. We did make a qualification change to the state championship qualifications. I looked back, I believe it was the top 25 that we took to the state championship. Since we're only doing 3 regional tournaments now versus 4, we're going to take the top 30 as well as the top 3 3-man teams, just as it was. So that'll be the top 30 from each regional qualifier. I had a couple of questions after the live video about prior tournaments. Yes, we will go back to prior tournaments. So for the Tide division, the previous tournament we had in, I believe, November at Guntersville, we'll go back to that tournament and pull out the top 30 to the state championship. And if any Tiger members are watching the video, same for you guys, we'll go back to your prior 2 tournaments and pull the top 30. We did make a change to the AOY, the Angler of the Year, as well. We were giving a drop essentially and taking the top 3 points from the regional tournaments. Now that we're only having 3 regional tournaments versus 4, we're going to reduce that to taking the top 2 regional tournaments for your Angler of the Year points. So your best 2 finishes out of the 3 will count toward Angler of the Year points. It's pretty huge because the top 2 in Angler of the Year from both Tide and Tiger division go earn spots to nationals. So for Tide division, any of you are still in it because you've got 2 tournaments to go. All right, I'm going to get started with the slideshow a little bit here. As always, send your pictures to Alabama Bass Nation Pictures. Krista does a good job of getting them up on Facebook. And this slide deck is already posted on Facebook, so don't worry about trying to capture everything. You can look at the pictures in Facebook and find it. Okay. Remember the new check-in procedure. This one's going to be very important at this tournament because, as you're going to see, once you weigh your fish, you're going to leave. There's no spectators, so there's nobody for me to ask, where is boat so-and-so from such and such scope, right? Very important that you check in, okay? We had another incident this year with a high school team in Pickwick, most of you heard about. We're very tough on the check-in procedure, right? If you don't recall, if I can't find a team within 30 minutes, the entire school gets disqualified, okay? So everyone make sure that you check in. You have to come see my check-in people at the check-in point, which we'll show in a minute. Or if you're broke down, call myself, Jeffrey, or Daryl, which our numbers are all on the slides, okay? I can't stress that enough. Even if you launch somewhere else, even if you don't have any fish, doesn't matter. You have to come back to the check-in point or you'll get your whole school disqualified. Okay? All right. So I'll run through this slide pretty quickly. We've talked about the buffer face cover must be worn at registration. We'll have registration Friday night, June the 5th from 3 to 5 p.m. This will be a drive-through registration, so stay in your vehicle. There'll be a slide in a minute to cover that. We'll have a tent set up in the boat ramp parking lot at Goose Pond. We will have a last-minute registration Saturday morning, June the 6th from 4 to 5 a.m. at the Bass Trailer. If you come in Saturday morning and you've not registered yet, you have to put your boat in the water first. I can't have you stopping up my line or filling parking places with your boat on the trailer and then trying to get out and disrupting the line. Put your boat in the water, then go to the Bass Trailer, weigh-in trailer, and get registered. I will issue a word of caution. I'm hearing a lot from people who are saying they're not going to be there, want to come Saturday morning. I'm going to tell you straight up, at 5:30, I'm blasting off. I don't care if there's still 60 people in line at the trailer trying to register. I'm not going to hold up the people who got there early, got their registration done, and got in the water and is ready to go, okay? Just a word of caution. We'll stay there and get you registered and get you going, but you may be 5:30, 6 o'clock leaving. Goose Pond will be collecting a $2 launch fee at the ramp. They'll have personnel there to handle that. Face covering, maintain your 6-foot distancing as much as possible through all this, and we're going to have things set up to try to help that. Again, we've talked about no spectators allowed at blast off or weigh in, no in-person award ceremony. blast off will be at the T-dock around the point behind the playground, and there's a slide to show that in a minute. We'll go into more detail. Blast off time, I'm going to blast off at 5:30, barring any fog or storms or situation that beyond our control. You may launch at an alternate ramp and come by water if you'd like. I know Mink Creek is right around the corner. I think we'll be fine with room and boat ramp, but maybe a little easier for you if you'd like to do that. That's why I'm blasting off at 5:30 instead of 5:15 to allow people to come by water from a different boat ramp if they'd like to. Juniors, we are going to start your first check-in time at 12:30. Earlier I had it at 12, but with the numbers we have, we've pushed it out to 12:30 to give you guys a little more time. There we go. High school will begin at 2. Again, check in. If you're standing on the ramp looking at the water, the dock's to the left, and you'll see our check-in flag. Again, you must check in at Goose Pond, even if you put in a different ramp, even if you have no fish. The only way you can get away with not checking in at that dock is if you're broken down and you call myself, Jeffrey, or Daryl. So 3 fish limit. We're doing 15-inch slot, a 15-inch size limit across the board for largemouth spots and smallmouth. Word of caution, if you go into Tennessee waters, in Tennessee waters, a smallmouth must be 18 inches and you can only have 1 in your possession, okay? Myself, I'm gonna weigh a 15-inch smallmouth and you can have a 3 fish limit of smallmouth. But if you're in Tennessee waters and get caught with those, then you get a ticket from them and that disqualifies you from the tournament. Only this one's important. Only one angler will bring the fish to the scales and must wear buffer face covering. We have the Remind app set up again. Go to the slideshow on Facebook. Make sure you signed up for that. Daryl's real good to send out reminders. And then, of course, you have our phone numbers on there. It's a hot time of the year, and it's probably going to be some ledge fishing going on. Fish care is going to be very important. So please make sure you do all the things to make sure and take care of fish as much as you possibly can. We've got some suggestions here. Again, this is saved on Facebook. You can look at the slideshow, but just some things we suggest. Of course, have plenty of ice. Oops, changed on me there. I won't read through all of it, but you guys can look at it. Everybody has their own way, but just make sure you take care of your fish. Ice is going to be the important thing in keeping that live well water cold. Some things, do's and don'ts for boat captains. I'm going to go through this pretty fast, but junior division, basically the boat captain can help with most anything except for you cannot handle a rod and reel. Okay, just do not pick one up. It creates issues for us. Somebody calls and says boat number whatever, boat captain was fishing, then I've got to track it down. I've got to come see you. You've got to explain what was going on. It's unnecessary. Boat captains for juniors do not pick up a rod and reel. You can do these other things on the screen, run trolling motor, net fish, etc., etc. High school boat captains, a little different. You cannot run a trolling motor or net fish. And again, please, whatever you do, do not pick up a rod and reel. Okay, going into registration, this slide is not 100% accurate. There is no updated aerial shot of the Goose Pond Colony boat ramp because they've done a lot of improvements recently, and there's just not an updated aerial photo out there yet to get. So all this area, maybe you can see all this area is now paved and striped off with parking spots. So when you come in, you're going to go into 2 lines and come down through there towards the tent. We will have staff coming up and down through here. Staff will be coming up and down the lines to your vehicle. When our staff comes to your vehicle, please have on a face of some kind. Roll your window down, and just all we need you to do is tell our staff if you're picking up high school or junior, what school it is, if you're picking up the entire school, or which team you're picking up. Now, we encourage you to have a representative from each school to pick up the whole team. Understand that's not always feasible, but if so, that helps us and helps expedite things. Again, this is a drive-through registration, so do not get out of your vehicle. Come in, form 2 lines, and we will take care of you. The staff, once you tell them that information, they'll go to the tent, pull your information, bring you back your registration cards and your boat flags. If any of them have a problem, we'll have another area set up to handle issues with registration. And if we have any issues with any, you'll be parked and go to a different area, but we'll direct you on that once we get that set up. Once you get your registration card and your boat flags, check them and verify that the number on your registration card matches the boat flag that you've got, because you're leaving, right? So, and it does happen, mistakes do happen. So verify that while you're in line before you leave. All right, that's Friday night registration. Again, Saturday morning, we will have a small window for registration for those who couldn't make it Friday night. We're probably just gonna have one person set up in the trailer, and they'll be there from starting at 4 a.m. We have it set from 4 to 5 a.m., but I'm sure it may go a little bit beyond the 5 a.m. But however, if you're registering Saturday morning, when you come in, you've got to go launch your boat. Because if you see, when I change it, you'll see everybody will be coming in, trying to get in the water. Nowhere for you to pull over without blocking the line. If you're not registered, when you come in Saturday morning, launch your boat just like you would normally, tie it up, and then go to the trailer to get registered. Let's see. The store will be open at 4:30 and serving breakfast. It's right here. They told me that. So this is the launching and parking slide. There is, like I said, all of this is paved and striped off now. There is 273 parking spots. So we should be fine, but you can use an alternate ramp if you would like to. Maybe make it a little easier on you. Like I said, it's one-way entrance. You'll come in, get ready, back down. This is now like a 7-lane boat ramp, so we should be fine and not have any problem. I should have a few guys doing parking and help you get parked, but Goose Pond's done a really nice job of updates and upgrades here and laying things out, so I think it'll go pretty smooth. All right, for staging and boat check and blast off, we're going to start at 5:30 again, barring any fog delays or storm delays or anything like that. This is the store and the boat ramp. Once you put in, you'll make your way around, stage, of course, in order. We're going to blast off from this T-dock around the corner. This is shallow up in here around the point. At the end of the dock, it's 4.5 to 5 foot deep. And then within 10 yards of the dock, it drops off to 10 foot or more. So we'll be fine there, but be careful getting up closer than the dock sticks out because it does get shallow. You guys all should know the drill on this now about staging and using your numbers to line up. You're going to idle just like normal, parallel to the dock, running lights up and on, live wells open and running, boat flag attached to the boat in plain sight, life jackets on and fastened, including boat captains, kill switch attached to the driver. Boat captains show us the kill switch as you come by, but do not pull your kill switch. After you pass the dock, you're going to want to turn out to the right. So 4 foot at the end, you want to turn out to the right there. Get my cursor back. Turn out to the right here before you take off. If you're going back into the back of North Saudi, the back of Goose Pond back here, please swing out wide. There's plenty of room out there because everybody's going to be staged. And if you were in there, you wouldn't want to get rocked around and bumped into other boats. Okay. Off limits. Oh, what happened? There we go. Okay. Off limits is going to be 50 yards west of this new dock here. And this is not an accurate picture. It's a much bigger dock. 50 yards west of it, all the way to the causeway, out approximately 100 yards. And any other areas posted off limits. Of course, as always, when you're out on the water, life jackets and kill switches must be worn anytime the combustion engine is running. And guys, we're probably going to have some ledge fishing and stuff, and that gets difficult. So remember, on the water courtesy. Communicate with each other if somebody is close to you, right, to eliminate the issues. All right. Is a 3 fish limit. Remember, the fish care, dead fish penalties is pretty stiff for us. The first one is 0.25 pound penalty. The second one is 0.75, and the third one's 1.25 pounds. We will open the scales at approximately 12 p.m. for juniors. As of today, we have approximately 45 juniors registered and approximately 155 high school registered. So juniors, we're going to start your check-in at 12:30, and our flights are going to be flights of 10 boats, and they're due in every 10 minutes. So for example, boats 1 through 10 is going to be due in at 12:30, 11 through 20 will be due in at 12:40, and etc. High school will be the same for you, except for we'll start your check-in time at 2 p.m. And again, you'll be flights of 10 boats in increments of 10 minutes. So 2 o'clock for the first flight, second flight will be 2:10, etc. Check-in will be at this dock on the left side of the boat ramp. We'll have our flag set up. You guys all know what it looks like. Everyone, even if you have no fish, even if you launched at a different ramp, you must check in right here. The only other way out of that is if you're broke down and you call myself or Jeffrey or Daryl. When you're pulling up to check in, make sure our check-in person sees you. Make eye contact with them, point at them, peace sign or something. It's your responsibility to make sure that check-in person sees you. Remember our check-in rule. If you don't check in, you're going to get your whole school disqualified. I'm going to ask you, when you come in, do not park at the check-in dock unless you have no fish and you're not weighing in, okay? Once you check in, if you're going to weigh in, you're going to proceed over to this big dock behind the store. That's the only way you're going to get a weigh-in bag. If you park here and walk up to the trailer to get a bag, you ain't getting a weigh-in bag and you're not weighing fish. If you put your boat on the trailer and then walk back to the weigh-in trailer, look for a bag, you're not getting a bag to weigh your fish. Once you check in at the check-in dock, pull over to this dock. Once you pull over to that dock, we'll go into it. Once you pull over, here it is. Once you pull over to this dock, you're going to tie up to this dock. When you tie up to the dock, you're going to stay in your boat. Do not get out of your boat. Tie up to the dock. If there's not space available, stay out here, okay, until there is space available, because we're going to weigh in flights. If you're in early and so a few minutes early in a previous flight here, let him go, because he's the one going to get a bag, not you. Again, make sure you have your face covering on or your buff once you tie up here, and remove your boat flag. That's going to be your cue to get a bag. You're going to pull in here, tie up, remove your boat flag, and hold it up while you're sitting there in your boat. And our staff is going to come down the dock and bring bags out to you in order by boat number and the flight that we're on, right? So if we're on flight 1 and boats 1 through 10 are in here, and then boat 15 is sitting here, we're going to walk right by 15 until we get boat 1 through 10 done and the first flight done. So there's no need of trying to crowd in here and jump in early. All right, we are controlling the number of bags, obviously, to control the crowd. Every bag will be sanitized right here at the bag cleaning station after each use, so you won't have to worry about that. Once our staff brings a bag to you in your boat, then you will proceed to put your fish in the weigh-in bag just as normal. We'll have both the mesh and the solid bag. Once your fish are bagged, one angler, not both, only one angler can then get out of the boat, follow the yellow arrows, and proceed up to the trailer. Probably starting here where the dock ends, we're going to have 6-foot increments marked off all the way up to the tanks, and on the tanks all the way up to the stage. Okay? Once that angler gets out of the boat and heads up to the stage, the other angler and boat captain, you can stay there, or you can pull over to the check-in dock to tie up to start getting, or start, you know, to go get your truck and start loading your boat. Up to you, but you should be somewhere between here and the check-in dock or loading your boat. The stage will be facing, as it shows here, the water. So boat captains and other angler, you should be able to see and hear what weight it is. Okay. So the angler with the fish, once he gets up here, he's going to make his way up through the tanks to the bump station. Again, when you get to the bump station, make sure you bring your boat flag with you, just like normal. You got to have your boat flag with you when you get to the bump station to weigh your fish. After the fish are bumped, you're going to go in the normal Q tank. Probably will only be 2 in it this time versus the 3 or 4 that we usually do. Okay. So you're going to stand in that queue until the weighmaster calls you, which is probably going to be me. But there's only going to be one person on stage, the weighmaster. He's going to call you. He's going to call you up to the stage when it's your turn. You're going to walk up on the stage and put your fish in the basket, and he'll direct you. The weighmaster will call you up, you know, Joe Smith, come on up, put your fish in the bag right here. Then he's going to tell you to move down the stage to where we're going to have a mark on the stage for you to stand. The weighmaster will then step over to the scales, pick the fish up in the basket, put them on the scales, and call out the weights. Depending on how we're doing on time, if you've got a big fish, a good bag, we may ask you to hold up a fish or two for the camera. Again, we'll be filming with Facebook Live. And then after that, the weighmaster will ask you to grab your fish, and he'll give you your ticket, and you're going to take your fish in the mesh bag down these steps down to the fish care tank. You're going to pour your fish out in the fish care tank. There'll be somebody there to take care of them, and then proceed with the bag on over to the bag cleaning station. Once you drop that bag in the bag cleaning station, you're done. You can go finish loading your boat and leave. Please do leave the goose pond area so that we don't have overcrowding. Again, we're not going to have any award ceremony, so there's no need of staying over. We will attempt to show the live leaderboard if we get it going on a dual screen. If not, we'll try our best to call out the top 20 or so weights pretty periodically. All right, getting close to the end here, just a few reminders. Make sure you remember your fish care. We have some suggestions on the slide. As we talked about, you may not trailer your boat before weighing in. The only way you're going to get a bag is if you're tied up to this dock and you're holding your boat number up with a face covering on. Okay, so do not pull your boat out before weighing in. As usual, you must use our bags. Present your boat flag at the bump tank. Scales will close 30 minutes after the last flight or at the end of the line, as usual. Any problems, of course, dial 911 first, then contact myself or Jeffrey or Daryl. Some of this may get tweaked a little bit, which is why we may do another video Friday night. And what my plan is maybe to just walk through it with everyone. So look for that Friday night, June the 5th, probably around 5:30 to 6 p.m. Okay, I think that is all I have here. Appreciate everyone joining. Please share this video with everyone. You can post comments. I think Chris can address that to the video for any questions that you have, and we'll answer them on there. But please watch the video, share it with everyone, let them know it's on there, because this is our only communication, and the weigh-in process and blast-off process is very important. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you Saturday morning.
Hey, Scott, I got a couple questions there just to follow up, just to reemphasize. You know, one of the questions was about the launch every 10 minutes, or do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, so launching, it's a 7-lane boat ramp. We'll launch them just as fast as we can. The 10 is where that come from is the increments of flight times, right? So that's coming in the afternoon. It'll be 10 boats per flight every 10 minutes. So boats 1 through 10, for high school example, starts at 2 o'clock. 1 through 10 will be due in at 2 o'clock. 11 through 20 will be due in at 2:10. for example.
And
But
then my next question or next thing was the mask policy about during launch and then maybe once they're on the water.
yeah, so again, have face covering and mask for us. It has to be at registration, at launch when we're all there together, and weigh in. When you're out fishing, I'm leaving that up to the boat captain's discretion because, you know, they're all traveling there together in the same vehicle. If you wore a mask while you're in the vehicle, then you probably should wear one when you're out fishing. If not, that's your discretion. But for us, our policy is when you're in a large crowd around all of us, we have to have the face cover on.
Okay, Scott, that's it. I appreciate it. Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, sir.
All right, Alabama Bass Nation, thanks very much, and we'll see you June the 6th, and don't forget to tune in. We'll be doing a live broadcast about 5:30, 6 o'clock, just to give you some update on any changes. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.